no, Battlefield is not going to beat Call of Duty this year. So last weekend was the Battlefield 6 beta, long awaited, just because we've been hearing these rumors with EA doing some playtesting in the background, some clips leaking, and honestly, Battlefield really hasn't been in a very good spot in quite a while. It really seems like maybe, I guess, since Battlefield 5, which I don't know, how long ago was that? So since Battlefield 5, and of course their failed Battle Royale with it, and then the absolute disaster of Battlefield 2042, things have not been so good for this IP. So when Battlefield 6 was revealed, it was exciting looking, but I think a lot of us were skeptical. And as you should be. I mean, at least for me, I understand the hype cycle of, man, this looks really good, hopefully it turns out, only to play it and then it's just not what you expected it to be. I think one of the smartest decisions they made was after the reveal, they very quickly followed up with not just a closed beta, I mean, I guess there was a little bit of an early access period, but an open beta. It almost felt like Battlefield Studio and DICE and EA were like, hey, we get it. We know things maybe haven't been so good with us in the last few years, so why don't we just show you the goods? And boy, they ever did. Last weekend's Battlefield beta was met with huge acclaim. It was so popular it broke the all-time Steam player count, not just for Battlefield, but also Call of Duty. It's kind of hard to figure out what that even really means because it's not an apples to apples comparison. Battlefield 6's beta obviously is free. There's no barrier to entry to get in and play it. At the same time though, all of Call of Duty games are under Call of Duty HQ, which includes a bunch of Call of Duty games. I don't even know how many at this point. And that also includes the free Battle Royale Warzone. So I gotta be honest, I'm not some kind of crazy hardcore Battlefield guy. I did play a lot of the Xbox Live Arcade Battlefield 1943. I think I also played either Bad Company 1 or 2. It was so long ago, I can't remember. And I remember at the launch of PlayStation 4, one of the launch games I got was Battlefield 4. And that didn't turn out so great. And I really wanted to like that game, so it was very disappointing that the servers were just completely botched. I think I even sold that game because I was so mad about the servers not working. So with an open beta like this, of course, why not check it out? And me and the boys did exactly that. And we had a fantastic time. Along with everyone else, of course. I mean, it's not really a hot take at all. It was funny because at first I felt like I was playing extra bad. I've never been really that good at any kind of FPS games. I can hold my own, but I'm not gonna be top of the leaderboard or anything like that. Dude, I got a chopper gunner. Let's go! Woo! Let's go. Oh my God. But over the years, I've been playing so many Call of Duty games instead of Battlefield that it had to rewire my brain to not just run around, point at heads, and click. So the first night and the second night, I was having a good time, but it was really a learning process for me and getting used to what Battlefield actually is. The third night, though, things really clicked, and I actually do have some footage here. And on this particular night, we had a full squad, 4 people, and that's where the magic really happened. My buddy Jason was the de facto medic, and the guy was absolutely insane. There was one round where I think we probably healed and revived each other over 40 times. I think I had like 3 deaths. And in this one particular shot here, we had found this spot on top of this roof. And did you ever play a game where we didn't have voice chat on, but you can just feel the anger from the other team? We were camping up here, just shooting anybody that came by. They were doing anything they could to try to get rid of us, but we just kept rezzing each other, and we were having a hell of a time. For me and a lot of other people, it's kind of been a shocking experience where we're playing this and thinking like, okay, well, what's the catch here? I think after so many years of missed opportunity with Battlefield, we're just kind of waiting to find out like what's wrong with the game. I'm playing on PC and I did have a few crashes, and I'll forgive that for a beta, but overall it ran amazing. I didn't even realize initially I was playing at 4K without DLSS on. So overall, my frame rates were really smooth, wasn't really having any technical problems outside of a few crashes. There's some weird jitteriness with some of the animations, but that's fine. I think one of the things that caught me off guard, and this is probably normal for Battlefield players, but I was finding that my performance was drastically different depending on the map and how much I had to vary up my playstyle based on the different maps. So the one map is much more urban and takes place in all alleyways and streets, and I was just getting destroyed. But on the other map, which is much more open, it's like this scenic mountain town or whatever it is, and I was having an awesome time switching between using the heavy machine gun, switching to the sniper, which, man, guys, the sniper effects, the sound effects specifically when you get that headshot, amazing. So with everyone feeling so surprised about how good Battlefield feels right now, it's obviously had people really excited. And it comes at a really interesting point where I feel like excitement around Call of Duty is very low. And maybe this isn't for the world at large, but at least in the more hardcore circles online. And of course, with it being online, people will fight about literally anything. So I touched on earlier about how the Steam numbers, how Battlefield beat Call of Duty's all-time high, and how this is going to be Battlefield's year to finally beat Call of Duty. And I guess my hot take of this video is that no, Battlefield is not going to beat Call of Duty this year. At least that's what I think. That's the thing about these online circles, and of course, as a PlayStation podcaster, I'm surrounded by this, unfortunately, constantly, is that one side needs to win, whatever side you like more, whatever game or platform, whatever, and it gets really old. But I think there's this extra excitement around Battlefield just because people are so sick of, in particular, Black Ops 6, what it's become over the last year. Honestly, the signs were there from the very beginning with the launch of the game and the special edition skins, and they were a little weird but forgivable, I guess, because it was just a few at the time to see a random zombie walking around in your match. But as time has gone on, the skins and the monetization has just continually gotten a little more out there. Very much the Fortnite-ification of Call of Duty has arrived. And from my experience personally, I don't love all of the weird skins and stuff like that in Call of Duty, but for me, it seems like every Call of Duty game I'm very into for the first 2 months, and then it gets too crazy and too hardcore, and I start to dip out. And that's probably just because I'm a casual, and that's fine. But for years and years of this, and I don't even play Call of Duty every year, it's starting to feel old at this point. And while Battlefield isn't some revelatory gameplay experience, I think what feels ironically fresh about it is that it goes kind of back to basics, but at the same time, feeling totally fresh with its crazy, destructible environments and feeling much more next gen, even though current gen, you know what I mean. So getting back to Call of Duty still beating Battlefield. There was a quote recently, I think it was an executive said Call of Duty is too big to fail, which does sound like kind of a stupid thing to say. But I know what he meant. And we talked about this on Sacred Symbols, that Call of Duty year over year, the best selling game. And I think that's going to happen again this year. I think it's important to remember that even though Battlefield clearly is going to be a huge mainstream success, if the beta numbers are any indication, that there's still a lot of people that aren't even part of this conversation and are still just going to buy Call of Duty anyway this year. Oh, and on Black Ops 7, I saw that there's already leaked skins for the collectors or special edition, whatever. And it seems like they're not really going to be changing their ways despite the negative pushback. The reality is they're just making too much money on this stuff that even if they lose some of these people that aren't going to want to play the game because of the skins, it doesn't matter because the amount of money they make on these skins is going to replace it, and probably more, actually. So Call of Duty will beat Battlefield, but honestly, I don't even think it really matters. All signs point that Battlefield is going to be bigger than ever this year, and that's really exciting. And yeah, EA completely could screw this up. We don't know what the game is like for real when you have everything, when you have the actual download on your console or your PC, whatever, and what the monetization is going to look like and how this game is going to change over time. My biggest hope is that even if Battlefield isn't going to be as big as Call of Duty, it still shows that there's still room for these big mass market games that don't have to go completely insane. And it's not even that I'm necessarily against games going balls to the wall with insanity. I think what Fortnite is doing right now with all the skins, awesome. They've made a place for that, and obviously it's working out really well for them. Weekend 2 of the beta is going to start probably around the time when I release this video, and I'm super excited to hop in, and I'm guessing the numbers are going to be even crazier. Who knows? Maybe this will be an iron sharpens iron situation. Call of Duty can see the success of Battlefield and maybe think, maybe we've lost our path a little bit. But then again, with all the money involved, probably not. All right, I've been rambling enough. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like it, make sure to subscribe. Also, check out my podcast, Sacred Symbols, over at Last Stand, where you can hear all kinds of longer, in-depth conversations about video games. We'd love to have you there as well. We'll see you later.
I'm gonna switch to AR. I'm just gonna try and assault this bitch. That sounded weird.
Got behind.